Every minute that passes, Vilgaforts draws closer to Nilfgaard. I don't know what he or Amir want with Ciri, but look at what he did to those girls. We return them to 𝐒𝐻𝐤𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬. We give them peace. Then, we fight to make sure this never happens again.
Geralt remains under the care of the Dryads at Brokilon, but he is determined to rescue Ciri, despite his life-threatening injuries. When a special healing ceremony fails to heal him to full strength, Geralt decides to leave his bed and begin physical training, much to the displeasure of Milva. Elsewhere, Yennefer continues her search for Ciri, and talks with a weathered sea captain named 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬, the nephew of 𝐒𝐸𝐻𝐤𝐬𝐬, former king of Cintra and husband of 𝐶alanthë. 𝐒𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 northern kingdoms will surrender to Emperor Amir, shifting the power structure of the entire continent. Convinced that Vilgaforts is personally transporting Ciri to Nilfgaard, Yennefer and the other mages of the Brotherhood go to Volpan Castle to investigate. There, they discover the mangled corpse of the flesh beast that Geralt had killed weeks prior, and in horror, they realize that it was composed of the missing students from 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐬𝐤𝐸. Emerging from the shadows, Philippa assures the other mages that Vilgaforts is long gone, and together, they break the curse that mutated the students into the flesh monster. Outside, the group decides to band together and fight back against Vilgaforts, but must first give the students a proper burial at 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐬𝐤𝐸. Meanwhile, Francesca and Fringilla arrive in Nilfgaard to meet with Emperor Amir and figure out the next step of their war plan. When Fringilla suggests that she and Francesca be granted positions of power back in Cintra, Amir agrees, but only on the condition that the 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐬𝐿 elven warriors remain to fight for Nilfgaard. Although Francesca is reluctant to agree to the deal, Amir makes it clear that the survival of the elven race is entirely dependent on his decisions, intimidating her toward acceptance. In Redania, King Vizimir reprimands Dijkstra over the failed coup at the Brotherhood. Demanding that someone be punished for their actions, he implies that Philippa should be executed. However, Philippa's lover Ava lurks outside and overhears King Vizimir's threat. Back at Brooklyn, Geralt continues to work on his sword form despite the pain, leading to further worry from Milva and Jaskier. Eventually, Milva and Geralt have a heart-to-heart conversation, and while Geralt contemplates Renfri's brooch, the pair mutually reflect on their troubled pasts. At 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐬𝐸𝐿, Tissaia and Yennefer have an emotional discussion about the future of the Brotherhood, with Yennefer expressing just how important and maternal Tissaia has been in her life. Ending the conversation with a hug, Tissaia stays behind, while the rest of the mages perform the burial ceremony. Overcome with guilt and feelings of failure, Tissaia takes her own life and dies alone in her office. After finding Tissaia's body, Yennefer travels to Brooklyn and meets with Geralt for one last time. And as Geralt vows to hunt down Vilgaforts and Amir, Yennefer heals him with her chaos magic. Back in Redania, Philippa and Radovid both safely return and meet with King Vizimir. While Philippa assures Vizimir that she has a bright plan for the future of the region, Radovid expresses self-doubt in his position as Prince of Redania, and instead wishes to abandon the capital and find his true purpose. As Radovid leaves in preparation, Dijkstra drunkenly meets with Philippa and dramatically offers to sacrifice himself for the failed coup. This proves to be unnecessary though, as King Vizimir is assassinated by Philippa's lover, Ava. When Vizimir's corpse is located soon after, Dijkstra tries to contain the chaos, while an uneasy Radovid is crowned as the new king of Redania by Philippa, her plan finally coming to fruition. Meanwhile, in Nilfgaard, Francesca and Fringilla discuss their plan to outsmart Emperor Amir. While Francesca considers accepting Amir's offer and sacrificing her warriors in the process, Fringilla remains stalwart in her disdain for the Emperor. In the conversation, Fringilla finally reveals that it was Emperor Amir that had Francesca's child killed, and partially confesses to her part in the plan. Enraged by this revelation, Francesca vows to bring true suffering to both Amir and Fringilla before storming out of the room. The next day, Yennefer and the rest of the mages clean up the rubble at 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐬𝐿 and discuss the future of the Brotherhood. Reflecting on how much they've lost, they all vow to eliminate Vilgaforts and restore Aretuza in honor of Tissa's memory. At Brokilon, Jaskier and Geralt have a brief encounter with Dara, who shares stories of his past and solemnly asks Geralt to pass on his apologies to Ciri. After whipping up an impromptu potion and sparring with some talented Dryad warriors, Geralt determines that he has recovered for long enough, and leaves Brokilon with Jaskier, despite Milva's warnings. In Nilfgaard, a celebration is in full swing, as Princess Cirilla arrives at the palace. Emperor Amir awaits the princess with Vilgaforts, who is alive but left disfigured from the explosion at Torlora. When the young guest of honor finally meets Emperor Amir, it is revealed that she is not Princess Cirilla, but instead the bewitched Terran, seemingly under the mind control of Vilgaforts. Unaware of the deception, Emperor Amir celebrates, thinking he and his daughter have finally reunited. In reality, Ciri remains in the captivity of 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐸 and the slavers, shackled in a tavern along with a fellow prisoner named 𝐄𝐩𝐢𝐬𝐸. Luckily, they are rescued by the Rats, 𝐄𝐩𝐢𝐬𝐸's ragtag group of friends. After the Rats mercilessly slaughter the slavers, Ciri is offered a fair fight against 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐸, and with rage brewing inside her, she kills him, marking the first time she's taken a human life. Meanwhile, Jaskier and Geralt arrive at a Nilfgaardian security checkpoint, and without the proper documents, are forced to bribe the corrupt guards. Geralt offers up Renfri's expensive brooch, and they are cleared to pass through. But when a guard accosts a young girl and her family, Geralt refuses to let things slide. Unleashing a fury that's been building up for weeks, Geralt makes a massacre of the Nilfgaardian troops, and also receives some surprise assistance from Milva, who has been following them. Leaving Renfri's brooch behind, Geralt, Jaskier, and Milva head toward Nilfgaard in search of Ciri. Back in the tavern, Ciri silently reflects on her actions and the potential future ahead of her. When the Rats ask her for her name, she tells them to call her Falca, hiding her true identity and marking a distinct change in her plans for the future.
What's your name?
Call me Falca.